Record. Let's see. It's now recording. It's now recording.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Today is Wednesday, September 11th, and I'm so excited on behalf of the Teaching Artists Institute to finally have you two juggernauts in the same virtual room together, looking at the work of Lil Laughs and MafortyZw, what you've been doing in Zimbabwe around the KwaNtuthu Comedy Festival is really impressive to us. We're so excited that you were who the judges selected as our Art Tank winner at this year's or last year's Artisan Conference in Zimbabwe. And a major component of our conference to connect artists and art culture to sustainable development is to work with an artpreneur like yourself, Hubert. And one of the major resources that we identify as an organization is human resource. And so our motto as an organization is that culture is the new currency. And a part of that culture is connecting global African people that are doing the work. And so I want to start by you all just officially for the first time introducing yourselves to each other. What is it that you do? Where are you based? And how long have you been doing that work? Fred, I guess I can start with you.
Okay, great. Once again, it's a pleasure to meet you. It's good to speak with you again as well. And I'm from Baltimore City. It's in the state of Maryland in the United States. I've been doing comedy for about 9-10 years now, stand up. But in that, I'm also a comedic actor or just an actor in general. I think around maybe year 6, I did a reality show on a network called Oxygen. It was a primetime television show, and we won the show. And when I moved back to Baltimore, we shot it in California. When I moved back to Baltimore, I was really inspired to just use the little bit of talents and networks that I amassed at a short time and use that to benefit youth in the community. So we started Lil Laughs. Lil Laughs is a comedy-infused youth development program. It's an anti-bullying focus, but it's we do a lot of inside-out work. So we start from the inside of youth and self-awareness and expression, confidence, and just things that's necessary as they develop. We give youth the opportunity to express themselves in the form of comedy, improv, acting, writing, song, dance. But it's a big focus on comedy and improv, though.
Beautiful, beautiful. Hubert, could you let Fred know a little about what you do in Zimbabwe and beyond?
Hi, Fred. Nice to meet you, man. Good to finally speak to you. I'm Hubert Dumisani. I'm a stand-up comedian. I use the stage name Maforty. I've been doing stand-up for 9 years now. And I also run a comedy festival here in Zimbabwe. Comedy festival that involves anything and everything comedy, be it theater, film, and stand-up. So we work with high school students in theater and in film. And then we get the professional stand-up comedians to come in for stand-up comedy shows. We involve stand-up comedians from the southern region of Africa, the southern region of Africa in a community called SADC, Southern Africa Development Community. So that encompasses Botswana, South Africa, Namibia, Swaziland, Lesotho, and Zambia. Those are the countries we've been able to work with. So every year we bring in our comedians on an exchange program. They come in to Zimbabwe, and also we send comedians from Zimbabwe to their countries. The idea is most young comedians or upcoming comedians have a torrid time in getting bookings outside the country. So we offer those platforms, those spaces, just to give them that experience of performing in a foreign country, hoping that their profile will be growing as they do their comedy. And then with film, what we do with film, because I also started acting recently, what we do with film, we go and teach film production to high school students. And then they come up with their own scripts. We give them the equipment to record, and then we showcase them at the festival every year. And I'm also an actor now. And as of yesterday, one of the films that I'm part of came out on Amazon Prime. It's Amazon Prime. Let me just check what I was told by the executive producer. I think we are on, we are on Amazon Prime, Google Play, and demand iTunes, Vimeo, Fandango at home, and Real Bukiti. So those are the ones that we are part of in America, in the American territory, actually. They actually came online yesterday. So yeah, that's what I'm up to.
And congratulations, man. That's amazing work that you're doing. For yourself as a comedian and a businessman, but also youth. And it's a lot of synergy in what we do here. So I'm really excited about seeing how we can add value to what you do, and also just as a comedian, even possibly booking you, working with you individually, but definitely working with the youth that you serve as well. That's really important to us.
Absolutely. Tie up, tie tight. We have to find ways to create the systems that create the ecosystem so that we can connect as global African people. And so I'm really happy that you all are connecting in this way today. Unfortunately, we have to accelerate the get to know you process because the festival and the major exchange that we want you all to engage in this year is going to be happening at the end of October. Hubert, please tell us a little about the annual festival, the timeline, and ways that comedians, specifically from Lil Laughs and within that network, can be engaged in the festival for this year.
Yeah, exciting for us. We're excited. So we can let's get to work. Let's see how best we can collaborate.
Hubert, could you be more specific about ways that Lil Laughs and Fred can be involved in the festival for this year?
So for this year, I think what we could actually do is, since their work is more involved with the youth, and we can get to expose the youth, the high school students that we work with his organization. And I understand I want to look at their profile. They mainly do deal with using comedy, inviting bullying. So which is mostly there at our high schools. So we can create a program for the high school students, for Lil Laughs to come in and push their program. Also, we then create maybe another workshop just one day for stand-up comedians to work with Lil Laughs. I don't know if that can work.
That sounds great. I would also love to hear how individual comedians like Fred and maybe his network can be featured at your festival's platform. Can you speak to that?
Yeah. So what I would need to do is I would have to talk to the guys in National Arts Council for clearance. I would have to travel to Harare immediately so that we can get the clearance for him to come in and also be part of the performance. So I can get that done with National Arts Council as fast as I can. And if there's anything else, I'll let you know. But I'll definitely send an email first to National Arts Council, or maybe even make a call or travel to Harare to get the clearance done as fast as we can. That should be able to work.
Perfect. Fred, is that something that you would be interested in doing? I noticed that you all have a major calendar of activities in October. Could you talk about that and maybe how this cross-cultural exchange around comedy in Zimbabwe could be the finale of that month-long series in comedy and healing?
Yes, absolutely. Since our initial exchange in regards to the festival, which I'm really excited about, just as happening in its history so far, I've been thinking about just our ability to cover costs and make something happen, even with me individually. And then I started to think even, some of the greater numbers, potentially our youth or any of our comedy coaches. So we do have the time, and that's solely because of the time that you contacted me. So once again, I definitely want to lift you up in that. So we do have the time. We'll have some events here in the States at that time, but I just won't be here, overseeing or engaging in them. So I do have the time. Right now, we're once again kind of revisiting the resources to just see how we can make everything possible. But I'm fully interested, and I know that we'll be able to add value in a lot of different ways, not just working with the youth, but potentially even other performances. We do comedy infused professional developments for educators and youth professionals, and we also do team building and just comedy infused like a morale based services for those that even work with youth. So I think it's some things that we possibly can bring down there with us to add value for the festival. It's more so about just securing our ability to get there.
Okay. So then we will talk after this call to talk about the logistics of booking and accommodation and flights and visas, all the things you just need logistically to get to the African continent. But it sounds like programmatically we're on one accord, and that's a beautiful thing, especially considering our accelerated timeline.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now's the time for questions. Do you guys have questions of each other? Do you have questions of me?
No, I mean, me personally, I feel like any questions that I had, like it was just waiting to talk to you all. And I feel like any questions that could form literally will be answered just with us continuing to talk and iron things out. To be honest, I don't think I have any questions that won't fall, within what we naturally have to check off just moving forward.
Hubert?
So for me, I think as we're talking, what I would want to know from Fred and his team is how much time do they want allocated to their program, and the number of students that they want to work with, so that we can actually get on the ground now and start working on that to make sure their program is set and we have the numbers that they need, while we're also getting the clearances sorted out.
Well, I think that's a great question. Thank you. I think it's need based. Just already seeing what you already have set up and what some of your goals are for your youth and your kids to leave with. Our programs at minimum can be 45 to 60 minutes. At minimum, like if we just did a one-off workshop, it could be 45 to 60 minutes. And that's for a smaller, intimate group, maybe 20 to 45 students, maybe even 60. We have larger programs or larger student-based services. So if you have, the theater size of students, maybe 100 plus, we also have another form of engagement we do that's more assembly style for those rooms. And then we like, honestly, we really can just fit. We're really flexible in that regard. So once again, to answer your question, we have services and programs that are 45 minutes to an hour. We also have larger styles services that can max out at an hour, and all these things it can be a package deal, so it doesn't have to just be one workshop. We have tracks that we can do series, so depending on how long we're there, we can engage the same group of students with each segment of our program consistently throughout that week. So it's totally up to you. Whatever room that you all have, whatever openings you all have on the schedule, we can meet you where you are.
I love it.
Right.
And so my question is about how Fred can be featured as a performer. To tell you a little about my story, I'm not Beyonce, I'm not even Jill Scott, but I am a soul fusion performing artist. And the most popularity and exposure I've received was on the continent of Africa. It was in Ghana where I first had the opportunity to perform for a stadium full of people. And I feel that every artist in their craft should have an opportunity to see what their art form would do outside of the home country that they're born into.
Absolutely.
And so, Hubert, I'm very vested in making sure that Fred has the opportunity, even though he's going to do the arts administration and he's going to do the teaching artistry and comedy with the students. I also want to see what it would look like to feature him as the first US-based comedian to be featured at your festival and to celebrate that historically. That's also an opportunity for us to get promotional support from the US Embassy in Zimbabwe, and that may also come with resources. I'm not sure yet, but the faster we go through the process, the better. And so, Hubert, what do you think about that?
So, like I said, him performing is not a problem. I'll just need to go write a letter informing the Asian Arts Council that we'll be having an artist from America coming to perform. He's coming to the country from this day. He's going to perform on this day. He's going to leave the country on this day. And then they'll get the paperwork. We get our immigration guys to clear it. We get our censorship guys to clear it. I don't see a problem as long as I just immediately start working on it, so that because time is moving, I just have to make sure I write tomorrow morning or this evening. I'll send an email and then do a follow-up on it tomorrow. And that way we're able to expedite the whole process. And should they need anything from him, I'll be letting him know. Should they need anything from me, I will be letting him know that they want a copy of your passport, or that if business censorship wants to see videos, I'll just ask him to send clips of his performances so that the censorship control can watch if they need. But mostly it's not a problem. We can have him perform, no problem.
Yeah, I can have that to you. Herbert, I have your email is in the thread, so I can send those directly to you also.
Perfect. And so the service and the support that we're trying to give to Herbert as our Art Tank winner from Artisan Conference Zimbabwe 2023, again, connecting him to resources. Fred, make no mistake about it, you are that resource. The human resource is the greatest resource. And so making the connection between you and him, his organization and yours, I'm very sure that that's going to produce fruit and benefit for many years to come. And the only thing that our organization asks to be the conduit of the connection is that you use our logo when you do a flyer, so that we get brand support. And if you just so happen to do something on social media, that you tag our organization at facebook.com/teachingartist.
Are you all located anywhere else, like on Instagram or Twitter?
So we are not on Instagram. We use our forward-facing social entrepreneurial venture, which is TAI Tours, TAI, Teaching Artists Institute Tours. And so our organization, we're social entrepreneurial, which means that we're self-funded. And so we robbing Peter to pay Paul. We selling bean pies and DVDs, anything.
Yeah, DVDs is crazy.
Listen, whatever is clever. And so we do that so that we're not beholden to the red tape that comes along with traditional streams of funding.
Absolutely.
And so if we use our fiscal sponsor to apply for funding, even if we don't get selected, it doesn't completely stop our operation. Yeah. And so we definitely thrive on having brand alignment and brand promotion. And so unfortunately, we don't have Instagram or Twitter for the Teaching Artists Institute, but for our TAI Tours component of our structure, we do have Instagram, and we will be featuring what you're doing on ground. Hopefully you won't come alone, but we will see that as technically a TAI tour. And so we'll get shots of you and images of you enjoying the nightlife and cultural immersion. And Bulawayo is one of the cultural epic centers of Zimbabwe. And so the Ndebele and the Hausa, you'll learn a lot about that culture as you're in the region, and we hope that you'll bring a team with you that can also experience that. So yeah, I hope that answered your question.
That's incredible. Yes, I definitely want to talk to you soon about logistics and how we can, maximize and make things happen. So I think that's where my only focus would be right now, outside of just being able to assist you, man, and everything that you're doing. You've been doing it. It's amazing, and I'm inspired by it, and I want to be able to help, man. Help directly with the youth, and also help on the back end to just continue to grow the platform, and continue to have it, be impactful for people, man, and continue to be funny. So any way I can help, man, I'm here, and I'm excited to work with you.
Same here, man.
Yo, even though I also want to laugh. Is that wrong?
No, I think I said funny in there somewhere. We definitely gonna be laughing.
Right.
So from our end,
I'm sorry, Herb. I know you were about to speak. I'm sorry to cut you off.
From our end, what we would require is Teaching Artists Institute should send us your logo. Fred, you should also send us your logo, so that now our posters, we're able to put your logo into our posters. And also check you guys on all our social media platforms.
Okay, I'll send those. How do you want that via email? What's the best way to send that to you?
The best will be email.
Okay, I'll send that to you the moment we hang up this Zoom. I'll send those things to you.
All right, thank you.
And of course, Herbert, if you don't have our email by now, and if you don't have our logo by now, we've been doing something very wrong this year.
I have your email. I have your email. The problem is if I'm to take a logo from your social media platforms, it will be, what do you call this? The quality of the logo gets fixated. So if you send your original logo, it's much more clear and works with our graphic designers. It's easier.
Perfect. All right, so we're gonna send you the non-pixelated version.
Yeah, get those pixels out of there. We don't get those pixels out of there.
Yes. And so, family, I'm gonna let you all go. I don't want to take all of your time. When you're moving in divine alignment, it don't take long to recognize necessary. And so I just appreciate you all being on one accord. Herbert, please send the recording of this so that we can begin promotion of the fact that you all are officially connected. All right. And that connection, wow, it's begun. I see Stephen is here. Stephen, did you want to say anything before we go?
Good evening. Thank you so much for this kind of connection. I'm just delighted about this kind of connection and the great work Hubert is doing, and everyone on the call. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Stephen has been helping with logistical support and administrative support for Herbert and the process of his Art Tank fellowship throughout the year. And so it's nice for him to finally see the next step in progress. Anyway, you all have a good, happy Sunday. Is it Sunday? Listen, I'm in Ghana. I don't know what day
this
it is.
It's in the States. I said in the States. Today is Wednesday.
Wednesday, yes, family. Hump day. Let's get it. We'll talk real soon. Peace.
I talk soon.